Oh no, here we go again with the snow.
So when it comes to this handstand spin, the star walk, as you might call it, I can do it counterclockwise, but when I go clockwise like this, I just can't really control it. I've practiced it really only counterclockwise, but I have been taking an effort to train it both sides. So hopefully I'll see some quick improvement because I can already do it one way, and the other way shouldn't be that much harder to learn. A brief rest here, as most of these moves are very technically challenging. Here, I guess I was too fatigued or a little bit too out of practice to really get it again. So I transitioned to the Hindu push-up here. I used to do like the easier movements first, but I think I might do the harder movements first and then transition to an easier movement like this that focuses on mobility for a couple reasons, because I'm already warmer from the previous movement, that this might aid with stretching, and it might challenge my heart and my cardiovascular system a little bit more, as it's kind of an extension, because otherwise I'd be doing this easier movement, taking a full break to fully recover to do the harder movement. But if I do it the other way around, hopefully it would train my heart a little bit better. I really felt like training for breakdancing. You really can't dance without any music, but you can train some of the moves to make sure that you're physically able to do them. But if you're practicing dancing, you definitely need music. But I just felt like going through the movements because they're quite fun, and it's been a while since I've actually broken it down. I've really kind of lost my passion for the bridge, so I've been really trying to find as much variation in entering, exiting, and moving around within the bridge motion as I can. And I actually had a good amount of fun doing this kind of movement. Not really sure what it's called or what to call it, but it seemed to be bridge-esque in a low bridge. And the main reason that I kind of fell out of the bridge practice is I kind of had an imbalance in my shoulder, maybe an injury you might call it, but my shoulder just wasn't feeling too hot doing the bridge, and I had to spend a good amount of time just trying to address that, getting the arm straight and doing a bridge pain-free.
So it's a bit later in the day. I've just took a shower, so I'm properly warmed up. It was a hot shower. And I did some breath work. So you always want to do some sort of breath work, in your lifetime. Breathing is, very fundamental. If you want to get started, I'm not really sure where you're at. Most people don't do any sort of breath work, but the Wim Hof method, most yogas have a good amount of breathing to do. But you really just want to focus on getting really complete breaths. Breathe through your nose, but use your mouth, use your lower back and your full breaths that, fill up your rib cage, and your rib cage will expand, and you can stretch out and change the structure of your rib cage with increasingly bigger and bigger breaths, or just be able to control your emotions and regulate your alertness and calmness. So breath work, very important, fundamental to being human. Nighttime stretching, I think, is the best time, at least for me, to stretch before you go to bed and kind of tighten up from the lack of movement that you get there. When doing a lot of seated stretching specifically, but generally any kind of movement, you want to be aware of what your free limbs are doing. So if you're doing a sitting movement, what your hands are doing and arms are doing, and if you're doing like a lying down movement, what your legs are doing, and head, of course. But me holding this golf club really helps me be aware of my hands and not to put my hands on the floor and take away tension from the legs, which is what I'm really trying to stretch here. And it gives me an opportunity to combo, do the shoulder jump rope stretch, one of the best stretches for the shoulders, along with stretching out the lower body. Now, going through all these motions here, I felt pretty good doing these stretches. I didn't want to do any more middle splits or splits because my hips were actually pretty sore, or one hip was. My right hip was pretty sore from yesterday's splits training. But the shoulders were okay, continuing to stretch them out and be aware of what they're doing with the golf club here. If you made it this far in the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And it's really helped me out to break up a lot of my training throughout the day and not just do it all at once because I'm more fresh. But it does take a little bit of effort to warm up and cool down. That's why I warm up with hot showers or use blankets a lot instead of traditional like jogging or some sort of other movement flow to warm up.